storm in Beijing has sparked internet buzz. Hailstones as big as chicken eggs have been seen falling from the late June sky. Locals were surprised by the hailstone's unusual shape, which some say resemble mini ice sculptures of the CCP virus. One netizen commented online writing, "You have to believe."
Though the coronavirus pandemic was relatively slow to hit many developing countries, the World Food Program warns the outbreak could cause widespread famines of biblical proportions. A report by the UN organization estimating the pandemic could nearly double the number of people facing starvation.
But now the World Food Program analysis shows also, due to the coronavirus, that an additional 130 million people could be pushed to the brink of starvation by the end of 2020. That's a total of 265 million people.
The Bible says in Luke 21:28, when we see all of these things happening, we are to look up and lift up our heads because our redemption is near. Please don't ignore these signs. They're for our benefit. These are warnings so that we can be prepared. I'm going to share a dream with you that I had last night. I had a very vivid dream that alarmed me greatly. I saw a gathering of people attending an event, and suddenly I saw myself in my home and heard this loud sound that alarmed me. So I went to the front door and looked out of the side window. I looked up in the sky and saw red lights, a red light with purple streaks. Then I ran to the back and looked out of the window and saw the subdivision behind our house totally engulfed in flames. Everything behind us was burning. I looked up and I saw planes. Some of them looked like fighter planes. But then I saw the biggest plane I have ever seen in my life, with two smaller planes on either side of it. And it was as though they were hovering high above the fire. And I could hear sirens just everywhere going off, but everything was just burning. And in the dream, I wondered, how was it that everything behind our house was burning, but it didn't burn ours? Then I ran to my mother's room and I shook her and I told her, "Get up, wake up and start praying. The neighborhood is on fire." Now, I had a dream similar to this almost a year ago, but in that dream, when I saw the planes, the fighter planes, I actually saw soldiers parachuting out of those planes. And when they landed, they were going around hunting people. They were looking for a certain group of people, and people were hiding everywhere, trying to avoid being killed. And in that dream, I saw the face of a man so clear that I could see the lines on his face. He looked very much like the current president of China. But what I noticed is that the look on his face was very stern, which is different from how we normally see him. When we see him, he normally has a smirk on his face. But the man that I saw in this dream looked just like him, but there was no smile. And I'm not saying any of this to cause people to fear. I'm only saying it to encourage you to pay attention to the things happening all around us. These things are like labor pains that are coming together a lot quicker. As soon as we seem to recover from one jolt, the other one soon follows. I believe the days are now getting shorter as wickedness continues to increase. So what can we do to prepare ourselves for these uncertain times? The Bible tells us in Proverbs 30:25 to be like the ants. Look at the ants. It says the ants are a people not strong, yet they prepare their food in the summer. There are things that we can do to prepare ourselves. So in the next session, I'm going to do a series on emergency preparedness. I'm going to be joined by my sister and my daughter, and we'll talk about some of the things that we've been doing for quite some time. And believe it or not, you don't have to have a lot of acreage to grow your own food. We're going to show you what we've been doing, growing food in pots and in raised beds in the backyard. We'll also do some sessions on some defensive measures, tips for preparing your children, and most importantly, how to prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, and physically. You don't want to miss that session. So if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that now. Hit the subscribe button so that you get the notifications on the new uploads. But there is one other important thing you need to do. You want to educate yourself. When I say educate yourself, I mean that you really want to know the true history about our people, how we came to be here, where were we before we got here. So we do a webinar. It's called Negro. Who do you think you are? And the next one will be held on August 8th, 2020. The next video will give you some information about how to sign up for that seminar.